All right, let's jump right into this. Welcome back to today's Explainer, Junior Detectives of the Bible Reading Club. Today, we're putting on our detective hats to investigate a truly wild and mysterious dream. This vision was written down by a man named John in the book of Revelation, specifically chapter 13. We're going to bring our absolute best detective skills to decode exactly what he saw step by step, because we are investigating some pretty intense imagery here. So grab your magnifying glasses, because here we go. So think about it for a second. Have you ever had one of those dreams filled with strange, mysterious creatures? You know, the kind that makes you wake up and wonder, what in the world did I just see? Well, imagine standing on the sandy beach of the ocean. The sky above you is growing dark with heavy storm clouds. You feel the salty, rushing wind, you hear massive waves crashing against the shore, and suddenly, you see something totally unbelievable rise, literally, right out of the churning water. That is exactly where John's epic vision begins. So let's look at clue number 1, the beast from the sea. Our first big clue in this vision is a creature that John says comes right out of the sea. But we're not talking about a normal sea creature like a whale or a dolphin here. John describes a beast that looks like a giant, terrifying puzzle made of pieces from wild animals we already know. If we piece these clues together from the text, we get a creature with a leopard's fast, spotted body, the terrifying, heavy, stomping feet of a massive bear, and the roaring, bone-chilling mouth of a lion. But that's not all. The text actually tells us that a dragon gives this monstrous beast its power, its seat, and great authority. So this beast is operating with the scary power of a dragon right behind it. Now, in biblical visions, numbers are huge clues. And John starts off by telling us this terrifying beast from the sea has exactly 7 heads. Can you even imagine a creature with 7 heads just looking in every direction at once? It's a vivid symbol of something incredibly complex and powerful rising up to cause trouble in the world. And it gets wilder, because on top of those 7 heads, John sees 10 horns. And balancing right on those 10 horns are 10 crowns. In these kinds of visions, crowns usually represent rulers or kings who want to bully, control, and force their way on others. John also notes that upon its heads is the name of blasphemy, which basically means saying very disrespectful and untrue things about God. So we've got 7 heads, 10 horns, and 10 crowns, showing us a menacing creature that wants nothing more than to rule and conquer. Okay, here's another vital number for our investigation. This beast is given a mouth to speak great things and blasphemies, and it's allowed to make war and overcome people. But its power isn't forever. The text specifically says power was given unto him to continue for exactly 42 months. That is a huge clue for us. It means that no matter how loud, scary, or intimidating this beast gets, God has put a strict time limit on how long it can operate. The beast is absolutely not the one truly in charge. Then, something absolutely crazy happens. John sees that one of the beast's 7 heads suffered a deadly wound. It looked like it was the very end for the beast. But then, that deadly wound was miraculously healed. Because of this shocking, false miracle, the whole world is amazed. They wonder after the beast and even start to worship it and the dragon, asking, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? Which brings us to a secret message, a call for patience. I know, with all this talk about dragons, strange multi-headed beasts out of the ocean, and the beast making war with the saints, it might sound a little frightening for a Bible reading club. But right in the middle of this intense chapter, John drops a secret, comforting message just for us in verse 10. He writes, "Here's the patience and the faith of the saints." This whole vision is just meant to remind believers to stay patient and keep their faith strong no matter how wild the world gets. It's a reminder that God knows exactly what is happening, and the saints, us believers, just need to hold tightly to our faith. All right, moving right along to clue number 2, the beast from the earth. Just when you think things couldn't get any stranger, the vision completely shifts. John suddenly sees a totally different creature. This time, it isn't coming out of the crashing ocean. It's coming up quietly out of the earth. While the first beast was huge and wild with all those heads and horns, this second beast looks very different. The text says it has 2 horns like a cute, gentle, fluffy little lamb. But hey, don't let its looks fool you. When this harmless-looking lamb opens its mouth, the text warns us that it roars and speaks with the terrifying voice of a dragon. This second beast is basically acting like a tricky magician. It exercises all the power of the first beast, and its main job is to force everyone on earth to worship that first beast, the one whose deadly wound was healed. How does it do this? Well, by performing massive, deceptive wonders right in front of them. It literally makes roaring fire crash down from heaven. It tricks people with false miracles, and it even commands the people to build a giant statue of the first beast. Then, it uses its dark magic to give life to that statue, so it can actually speak. And this leads us to the ultimate puzzle, the mark. Things get even more mysterious here. This tricky earth beast creates a strict rule that affects absolutely everyone. Small and great, rich and poor, nobody is left out. The beast tries to control everything in society by demanding a mark. The rule is that no man might buy or sell anything unless they receive a specific mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Imagine not being able to go to the grocery store to buy your favorite snack, or not being allowed to buy a new toy or clothes just because you refused this mark. The text says this mark is the name of the beast or the number of his name. This brings us to the final, ultimate puzzle for you, junior detectives. John tells us right in verse 18, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast." He is actively inviting the reader to solve this mystery. He tells us that it is the number of a man. So detectives, what is this famous number? His number is 603, which we know today as 666. It is the ultimate mystery code left at the very end of this chapter. It's a warning and a puzzle wrapped into one, showing just how far this beast system of control will try to reach across the earth. But it's also a powerful reminder for us to stay alert, to rely on God's truth, and never ever place our ultimate trust in the confusing, broken systems of the world. So, putting all these clues together, we see the full picture of Revelation 13. And you junior detectives did a fantastic job following along today. We investigated a chimera beast rising from the stormy sea, a tricky lamb-like beast from the earth, and a mysterious number left for us to decode. But most importantly, we found a beautiful reminder right in the middle of it all, to have faith. John's vision is a fascinating puzzle, meant to reassure us that God is completely in control, even when dragons and beasts seem incredibly loud and powerful. So, knowing that the ultimate message of this crazy dream is to stay strong, I want to leave you with a question for your Bible reading club this week. How can you practice the patience and the faith of the saints in your own life? When things around you seem wild, confusing, or just plain difficult, how will you choose to trust God? Think about that as you go through your week. Thanks for joining me on this Explainer Detectives. Keep reading, keep searching, and keep the faith.